What up? What up? It's your boy RVA from VA, Richmond to be exact, and I'm back again, back like I never left. Yeah, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So let's go ahead and officially wrap up Week One against Jacksonville. Um, what a tremendous way to start the inaugural season of the Washington Commanders. We were able to cap that Week One matchup with the Jacksonville with a win, starting the season officially 1-0. So we can definitely build off this game, and it feels really good. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up today and talk about some of the things that I saw in that Week One matchup that I loved, and then also some things that I didn't so much love. But ultimately, you know what it always comes down to, the W, as my man Jameson likes to do. Just go ahead and bite that W real quick. Um, Washington Commanders win this game 28-22. Was it perfect by any means? No. Did we see some things that it's exciting and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this season? Yes, most definitely. So let's go ahead and start with the offense first. On the offense side of the ball, we were really able to see Scott Turner get into his bag. And what I mean by that is, last year and years prior with the limited talent at the quarterback position, we felt like, we weren't getting enough explosive plays. And also, we lacked the weapons here in Washington on the offense side of the ball to even make this, this beautiful playbook that Scott Turner has. Look the way it did in that first game against Jacksonville. And we've seen some of the stuff, with our man Curtis Samuel, who was finally out there taking live bullets, very, very elusive, making guys miss after the catch. And, stuff like that we were missing here in Washington. We had Terry McLaurin, and we know what Terry McLaurin offers as we see him connect with Carson Wentz on that deep shot down the field to essentially get us back into that ball game after giving up a touchdown in that beginning of that fourth quarter. But we didn't have enough guys that were able to make guys miss in space and get the ball upfield. They were lining Curtis Samuel up in the backfield at receiver, motioning him. Whatever way they could get the ball in this guy's hands, he was absolutely electric. And then also, the hope for me was that Jahan Dotson will offer some of that as well. But we seen in this game the absolute crisp route runner that he is. And he also, I believe, we haven't seen a lot of it yet, but I do believe he possesses the ability to make guys miss after the catch as well. And I think that's in his bag. And I think we will start to see some of that stuff flash as well. But, he's a guy that can impact the game in multiple ways, which you absolutely love to see that. On his first touchdown ever in the NFL regular season, he hits the guy with the little shimmy, real quick, get up off me, gets the ball, attacks the ball. You love to see the way he attacks the ball, makes a play, and like a professional, gets his 2 feet down in the end zone to get his first ever touchdown. The guy looks absolutely amazing. This week one, we were able to see a lot of the stuff that Scott Turner wanted to do with this offense. And I really think him being now on the sideline and not being up in the booth like prior years, I think that quarterback offensive coordinator connection, they can communicate right to each other. There's no miscommunication. We don't have to, run it to one guy's ear, the quarterback coach, and then, him relay it to Carson. It's right from the horse's mouth to Carson Wentz. And they're able to communicate. So love that as well. I think that that connection between coordinator and quarterback is going to be huge for us as well. And it seemed that was working really good for us in this week one matchup. You see some of the creativity. I've been speaking on it from Scott Turner, all emotions, plays that you can stack on each other and build off of. Jahan Dotson spoke about, the play that Carson Wentz threw his first interception on. That play was actually a stack off of that interception, which led him running the same identical route. And, the corner anticipating him, sitting in the corner, being aggressive there. And he was able to cut it up and, make a absolutely ridiculous catch on the ball, attack that ball and bring it in for a touchdown to ultimately win the game. These are some of the things that you're seeing with Scott Turner in this offense. And Carson Wentz is the guy for the job, meaning that he's able to make a lot of these incredible throws that you've seen throughout the game. And also as well, we did see some of these throws where Carson Wentz was high, on some throws and stuff like that. But, when you got a quarterback like Carson Wentz, you have to kind of live with it. Last year when he was with the Colts, his old coach put him in a game manager role. That is not Carson Wentz. You have to let this guy fire his shots. But I did love, and I pointed this out, that he was taking the initiative to take the underneath stuff when he didn't feel comfortable with something downfield, using Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, and now also Curtis Samuel as well, introducing him into that short game. I mean, there's a plethora of weapons there. And we don't even have Brian Robinson back yet. So the ceiling is very high for this offense. We were able to punch it in on the first 2 possessions of a game. That's just something we're not used to here in Washington, so you love that as well. We got a little stagnant after the Curtis Samuel fumble, and I felt like we should have really attacked more and attacked vertically and try to put these guys to bed, but that didn't happen. And then ultimately that led to 2 big key turnovers, which got Jacksonville back in the game. But Carson Wentz on the sideline, he took blame for the situation. He communicated with Ron Rivera, and, and it was said that he said, Ron Rivera said to him, you better go out there and win it now. And Carson Wentz said he will, and he did it. He absolutely did it. Can't take nothing from that man. 4 touchdowns for Carson Wentz, over 300 yards. He had the 2 turnovers, as we know, but his week 1 performance, loved it, want more of it. Sign me up. If we get that that W. If we get that W, sign me up. So that's the side of the offensive ball. Now, looking at the defense, and I'm tired of hearing, it was just Jacksonville. I'm not going to do that. Every NFL team, they have dogs on it. These are NFL players. They're professionals. They're students of the game. So we play the NFL team at the end of the day. The defense, 3 for 12 on third down. That's been the emphasis here in Washington. The guys were able to do a pretty okay job at that. And don't get me wrong, we were bailed out at times. But, hey, bad teams don't make those plays. I'm not going to cry or pout about it. Jacksonville didn't capitalize. We did. And so, the defense for the most part was okay. Now, the front 7 won't beat them up too much. The defensive line got a lot of pressure. I loved what they did, especially working in unity. We did lose for Darian Mathis, as we all know. So that's a huge loss. And they brought some guys in, some young guys to help with the depth in that department as well. Jonathan Allen got banged up. And then I forgot to mention on the offense, Wes Schweitzer, he's banged up as well. So, we did have some nicks and knacks stuff here. A big loss for Darren Mathis. The front 7 on that defense played pretty well for the most part. Jamin Davis kept getting matched up on slot receivers, Christian Kirk specifically. And, Ron Rivera specified that Jamin Davis has the ability to guard these guys. He has all the athleticism, but, it's all in his technique and how he breaks down and stuff like that. So that's just something they're going to have to work on. This is one of the, the things I talk about with bad teams. Jacksonville had a shot over the top to Etienne. Trevor Lawrence missed on the throw, and Jamin Davis was in coverage on that play. If they would have hit on that, they would have scored early in that game. So that's the stuff right there, the little details. With experience, I think Jamin Davis, he'll start to catch on to some of those nuances. But for the most part, I thought he had a pretty solid game. Now, the cornerbacks, they still worry me a little bit. They weren't absolutely horrible, but I would like to see them be a little more aggressive. But the thing that sucks, man, as I noticed, not just in our game, but around the league, these referees calling these pass interference penalties. And then I look at another game and I see the same technique used by a DB and they don't call the penalty. So that can be frustrating. It's frustrated to the corners as well. They're put in jeopardized positions like Derek Forrest, our safety who played for Cam Curl in this game. He was called for unnecessary roughness when the receiver actually led with his head. So it was literally, he didn't have any area to even make contact without hitting the crown of the guy's helmet. And they called unnecessary roughness on that one. And I absolutely hated that call. I'm going to need the NFL to, do something. I hope they're reviewing tape because some of these calls are absolutely ridiculous. But with the same token, I'm not going to bail these corners out. They got to turn their head around. On a lot of these plays, a lot of these throws Trevor Lawrence was making, if the guy just turns his head, these are interceptions, which I've made an emphasis on. We need interceptions. We need turnovers. We were only able to get one in this game. Jacksonville had 3. Good teams, it helps your offense get the ball, short field position, get the offense back on the field when they're firing all cylinders, put more points on the board. I would love to see an uptick in turnovers on this defense. In the corners, like I said, at times they're very lax. They let receivers make catches, then they come and make a play, make the tackle. I would like to see some of these balls lodged out of there instead of letting guys make catches and then reacting to after they make the catch. But, for this first game, they were able to get it done for the most part. Like I said, the front 7, specifically the defensive line, got a lot of pressure, made it very, very hard for Trevor Lawrence all day long. So, the defense for this week, they get a pass. We shall see, what they're able to do this weekend when we face the Lions. But that's pretty much what I got for the defense. And then special teams, didn't see anything bad there. Dax Milne back there, who I expected to be back there. I like him back there. For me, special teams, ball security, just want you to actually be able to catch the ball, bring it in, don't fumble it. Don't give the other team, an opportunity to start a drive in our own red zone. Dax Milne, he was able to secure the ball. He had little flashes of being shifty and things like that. We didn't get any huge returns, but like I said, special teams pretty much hit on all cylinders for the most part. So, that's pretty much what I got for this week 1 matchup. Like I said, it was absolutely electrifying game. And I kind of love, I don't love the 2 interceptions, but I love the way this game went for Carson. As we know, Carson Wentz's revenge tour, first stop, Jacksonville coming to DC. We got the job done. I love the way this ended because, the team was able to see that, we can be down in a game. A game has its ups and downs, but we can pull those games out. And in prior years with Taylor Heineke and other quarterbacks, we wouldn't have won those games. So I think this is huge for building the team morale, building the trust in Carson Wentz, and knowing that, when things get tough and, things aren't looking up, we're able to, ultimately overcome that and pull out these ball games. So I think this game was a key character build for this team. And it happened in week 1, Carson Wentz's first game. We were able to see the good and the bad. So I'll take it because, like I said, ultimately we got the W. That's all I got for you. It's your boy, RVA from VA. Peace.